We are on this chapter called freezing in our file, module 5, worksheet layouts. Now, we have a list of data here, around 600 rows of data. Now, this list can grow or shrink. Now, when we scroll down the data, we lose sight what of the headers, what is at the top. So we may lose sight of the headers. Maybe we would like to make new entries over here. And I don't know what date it is. It's a date of birth or date of joining. What is it? It's a salary compensation taken, last compensation, or what exactly these numbers are. So maybe I would lose sight of it. So what do I need to do? I need to go back here, look at the top. Okay, this is this and that. So, but at certain times, you may want to ensure that the headers and which are at the top remain visible all the time. So we can achieve this by the feature called freezing, which is found on the View tab. So we'll go to the View tab over here. In the Windows group, we have a button called Freeze Panes. So if you would like to freeze top row, make sure the top row is visible. Then go to Freeze Panes. We got three options over here. Freeze Panes, freeze top row, freeze first column. And as the name suggests, you know what we are going to do here. I'll simply click on freeze top row, and wherever the top row is, it will get froze. Now, if you scroll down, you'll always have this row number 1 visible to you, the headers visible to you all the time, no matter where you're on the Excel sheet. Now, sometimes you would like to freeze the first column. Maybe you're scrolling the data left to right, and the first column is important. So if you scroll to the right, you lose the sight of the first column. In order to freeze the first column, ensure the column A is visible. Then go to Freeze Panes, click on Unfreeze Panes, go to Freeze Panes again, go to Freeze First Column. Now, the active cell can be anywhere. We just need to make sure that the first row or first column is visible. Now, you would also see a thin line here, which will give you an indication that this has been frozen. Now, if you scroll to the right, you'll always have row number 1 visible to you all the time. Let's come back here. Let's go unfreeze these. Now, maybe at certain time, you would want to achieve more than that. Let's say if you would like to achieve the goal to freeze maybe 2 rows, how about 3 rows at the same time? These 3 rows are important. So how would we do that? Ensure that we simply select or click on the cell A5. So whatever cell you have selected, whatever is above it or to the left of it will get froze. Let's say if I click on this cell, K11, whatever cells are above K11 will get freeze. Whatever cells are to the left of K11 will also get freeze. So in order to freeze, let's say top 3 rows or 4 rows, I will ensure my active cell is A5. So whatever is above A5 will get freeze. Whatever is to the left of it will also get freeze. So I go to Freeze Panes, then click on Freeze Panes. Here it is. Now you also see a thin line over here showing that this has been frozen. Now if you scroll down, you would see the first top 4 rows all the time. Now at certain times, you would also like to freeze columns and rows together. Now maybe I would like to freeze the first 2 columns and 3 rows over here. So we will make sure that our active cell is C5. So whatever is above C5 and whatever is to the left of C5 will get froze. I'll make sure my active cell is C5. Freeze Panes, Freeze Panes. If you scroll down, you'll have top 3 rows, top 4 rows. And if you scroll to the left, you always have top first 2 columns available to you all the time. To come out of it, simply click on Unfreeze Panes. And we are back to where we were. So freeze panes ensure that you have your data visible to you, the number of rows that you want, the number of columns that you want. We have the list of data over here, around 600 rows of data. And just to remind you that these are all random generated names and numbers. Uh, so we would like to see a portion of the data and then compare it maybe with the data to the below. So if I scroll down, I may have in training department over here. So if I keep on clicking down, I have a professional training group over here. Then I have a training group at the bottom. Now I would like to compare the people in both these training groups. Now what do I need to do? I may need to come back here and scroll down and then maybe check those names side by side. So maybe I would like to see this data side by side or maybe up or below in the same worksheet on the same screen. So what we can do, we can achieve this by the feature called split screen. So split screen will simply split my existing Excel sheet into two or four different parts. Now maybe I would like to split it horizontally here. The feature is found on the View tab. Here we have split screen. But in order to use split screen, make sure you first select a row number, any row number in the center. Just click any row number in the center of it. Simply go to split. It's a toggle button. You turn it on, turn it off, turn it on, turn it off. So click on split screen, it's on. Now you'll have the screen has been split into two parts, the same sheet. And it's the same screen. Now if you scroll down, you'll have a professional training group. Now you can scroll both of these portions separately. I'm scrolling the top portion here, and now you can scroll the bottom portion here as well. And you can also use these parallel arrows up and down to make sure to bring those divider to below or above. And maybe you can easily compare the data or make some new entries. Maybe if you'd like to make a new entry over here, let's see what happens. So if I make a new entry over here, you'll have that copy of it because it's the same sheet that you're working on. So I'll make a new entry, maybe how about Kapoor, Anil, press enter. So it is always there. So you are not making any changes to any of the file, but whatever change you make, it happens everywhere. So it's just a view that you're looking at. There's no changes. You can scroll both of these separately. Now this is a horizontal split that we have done. Similarly, maybe you have more columns than more number of rows. So in order to get rid of this or make it go away, you can simply go back and click on split again or double click on this parallel button. The split will go away. You're not doing any damage to your data. So if I would like to split the screen vertically, simply click and highlight any of the column, then click on split screen. Now my screen has been split vertically, and I can use these parallel buttons, parallel icon, and bring it somewhere here. Now I can scroll these from the bottom separately. Now I may have column A visible to me. Maybe I would like to compare column A and B, and I can scroll this one separately over here as well. So I can see what's going on to the below. They will scroll equally, and I can see what's going on here. I have two different screens, the same sheet with the two different screens. Sometimes we have a lot of columns that we want to compare, so we can use this feature. Very helpful feature. Split screen. Now there is one more way which you can split the screen, but that's rarely used. You can split the screen in 4 ways. Now make sure you click within the center and then click on split. Now it will split the screen in 4 different ways. You get 4 different scroll bars here that scroll separately. Now I can scroll this one separately, and I can scroll this one separately over here, and I can scroll this one separately over here, and I can scroll this one separately over here. But I think this causes more confusion than it solves, and you can use the 4-way arrows over here to bring this split somewhere else. I think this is rarely used. So, but there's a way you can split in 4 different ways on the 4 ways. So come out of it, simply double click on these 4 arrows. Will go away. Remember, you're not doing any damage to your data. Your data is still intact. It's just the way you see your data. Split screen found on the View tab in the Windows group. We are on this chapter, Find and Replace. Now, these two terms here, find and replace, are the features that are found side by side. Over in the Home tab, we have on the far right a magnifying glass which says Find and Select. If you click on that, we got these two buttons, Find and Replace, with side by side. The Find button will help you find some of the data. There's a shortcut to it called Control F. If you hover your mouse on Replace, you'll also get a shortcut to Replace, Control H. Now, Replace will actually find what you're looking for and then replace it with the text that you want. Let's explore some of these options here. Let's start with Find. So we have this Find. If you click on that, you'll get a window here called Find and Replace. And they're always together. Now it says find what? Maybe I would like to find ekta in column B. Let's say if I have an ekta here. Ekta. Now there are certain options here. Match case, which means that it will make your text case sensitive. Match entire cell contents, which means that entire cell should contain ekta. You can search within the sheet or in the entire workbook. Search by rows, column doesn't make any difference. Look in formulas, values, comment, notes. Maybe if you're searching for a comment or note, you can select that, but that's okay. Even if it's a formula, it will search for the value. So I'm looking for ekta and then click on Find All. And it will tell you all the instances and all the locations where it had found the word ekta. And what is the value it is? Ekta building. Which cell it is? These are the cells. Which sheet? This is the sheet. Which file? This is the file. So you got all the options here. Wherever it found ekta, you can simply click on it and you can search for it. We got around 50 of them. Now select ekta building, column B, and let's say I would like to search for Bala. Over here we had somebody named Bala, so I'll type in Bala in the small letters and then click on Find All. It had found how many of them? It had found, let's say, around 13 of them. And it says Bala Subramaniam, Bala Krishna. But if I click on Match Case, which means that it will find Bala, which is written in small letters. And if I click on Find All, it will only tell me that, okay, there is one Bala, Manju Bala, tank, which is there. Otherwise, it will find everything which has the word Bala in it. Now, let's move on to the other one, replace. In column D, we have the status of the people who are working full-time, maybe contract, maybe hourly. Now, company says we would like to change the word here, maybe contract to part-time, because we have people working maybe 3 quarters time, 2 quarters time. So we'd like to change the word contract to part-time. Or half-time to part-time. So we have half-time. So company says, okay, we'll change the word from half to part because we have people working quarter time or half quarter time. So I'll select column D here and then go to Find and Select, Find and Replace. Click on Replace. Find what? Find the word half. And we would like to replace it with the word part. And let's find them all first. How many are there? 67 of them. And then click on Replace All. Keep an eye here. It will become part-time. and it says it has replaced 67. And that's what we want it to. Now, generally, we will select the column where we want to make, where we want the changes to be made. Now, there are certain people in startups who are hourly. They were offered a full-time position before, but they declined. Now, the company says, okay, we'll color them separately to make sure that they can join as a full-time anytime they want. So now they have decided that they would like to join a full-time. So we got hourly which are not colored, we have hourly which are colored. Now, company is little skeptical about them, so they want to make sure that they join full-time, but they want to keep them highlighted. So if so what do we do here? Let's find out how many hourly are there. People who are hourly. So I'll simply type in the word hourly, remove it, replace with, and then search for them. Find all. And we got 40 of them. But we are not looking for hourly. We are looking for hourly. Those are green in color. So I'll set a format here. Format. And then go to fill. Green color. Now it will only find me hourly that are green in color. Find all. It says 15 of them. And then I select here. Now I would like to change these hourlies with full-time. But I would like to make sure they are highlighted. So if I click on full-time, I will lose who was what. So I'll make sure I color them again. I'll make it blue color. Click OK. And click on replace all. I've got 15 replacements here. I've got all the hourlies have been replaced with full-time, which are blue in color. And as you can see that we have full-times which are white in color, regular full-times, but we also have full-times which were hourly before. Now they've been offered a full-time position. So find and replace will help you find or replace whatever text you want on your terms and conditions. Found on the Home tab at the far right. Find and select.